Welcome back, painting friends. Today we're going to paint a cute little squirrel drinking a cup of cocoa. So colors you're going to need are purple, white. I've got two browns. I've got a light brown and a dark brown, pink, yellow, and black. And mind you, you can always change your background colors if you want to. Favorite four brushes I always keep at my studio. I've got my 1-inch flat brush, my 10-6, and 1 round brush. Don't forget to have a cup of water and a rag for keeping those brushes clean. And remember, if you like what you're seeing here today, make sure that you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Painting with a Purpose, and check out our Facebook page. That's where all the fun interactions happen. All right, I've got my 1-inch flat brush. I'm going to take a lot of white paint and a spot of purple paint, and I'm just going to make top to bottom streaks all the way across my canvas until I get it to where I love it. Take that brush, wipe it off, wash it off, and set it to the side. We're going to let this background dry before we put in that cute little squirrel. With my background finished, I'm now going to go in and lay out that cute little squirrel. So I've got my number 6 round brush and some white paint just to lay out what my squirrel's going to look like. And I'm going to put a circle right up here just above the halfway point of my canvas. That's going to be his little head. Now, I want to imagine this squirrel in the middle of winter, which means, well, actually, maybe at the beginning of winter. So he's a nice, big, chunky squirrel. So I'm just going to make 2 curved lines that go out like this. That's going to be his body. And then, of course, I'm going to make him have a nice, big, swirly tail right here. So a nice, big, curved line that comes up to that point. His cute little squirrel ears are going to be triangles, but they're going to be curved triangles. So I'm going to kind of curve these triangles together. Perfect. Now, same brush, I'm going to go ahead and add the lighter spaces of his body in. So right up here on his head, we are going to start just below his ear, and we're going to make a curved line that goes down. That's going to be right where his nose is going to go. So everything under that, I can go ahead and paint in white. And then down here on his belly, I'm just going to make a smaller little curved line right here, and I can paint all of that in white as well. Now, as this is drying a little bit, I'm just going to go in my sky and I'm going to add some polka dots of snow. You can keep your snow simple by just adding dots, or you can go in and add some more detailed snowflakes. Watch this. I can make like an X, nice big long X, and then I can go in and make a smaller little plus sign in the middle. And now you can leave it at that, or you can add some little triangle points to the ends of some of these. You could do it to all 8 of them or just 4. Same thing with some dots. You could put some dots on the outside of those. So really you're looking at dots, you're looking at triangles, just kind of having fun with it. You can even make a full diamond on the ends of some of these if you want. So you can make your snowflakes as simple or as, involved as you want. I'm going to probably make maybe 3 of those little guys, and the rest of them are going to be polka dots, because the polka dots, they go on really fast and easy, and the snowflakes, they take some time. So let's get these on there. Now with that in there, what we're going to do is I'm going to take my brown paint, my dark brown paint, with a little bit of white on it. So dark brown and white paint, and I'm going to go ahead and paint in these cute little squirrel parts. Anything that's not painted white, I'm going to paint in with that dark brown and white. And the reason I'm adding the white to it is I want there to be a small little differentiation in the color without it being too crazy. So I'm not going to brush all of those white lines totally gone. They might blend a little bit, but overall I'm going to let some of those white streaks show through on my squirrel fur. Now with that finish, I'm going to take that brush and I'm going to take that light brown paint and I'm going to paint all of these white spaces in with that light brown color. All right, I'm gonna let this dry, and then when we come back, we'll add in those next sets of details. Sometimes I start things before I turn my video on just to see if I'm gonna like it. And this is one of those situations. I am going to lighten up these light brown areas. So a little bit of white, a little bit of light brown. We are going to recover all of these with just a lighter brown color. So I'm using my light brown and white paint, and I'm just gonna kind of coat over all these. I don't want his face to be too dark. He's already a dark gray squirrel. I don't want him to get too dark. Oh yeah, I do think that is much better. Okay, let's move on to his cute little body parts, his hands and his feet. So I'm gonna use my light brown paint, and right here, I'm just gonna make a small little bump. This is gonna be one of his little feet. I'll put the other one right over here next to it. Now I'm going to take a little bit of white paint and just kind of line out where my coffee cup or my hot cocoa cup is going to go for him. A little bit of white paint, and right here in the center, I'm going to make an oval. Now remember, you can make any type of coffee cup you want for your little critter. This one, I'm going to have it kind of come in a little bit and then get a little bit bigger at the bottom. And then a curved line underneath that. I'm going to put a handle over here, just a half heart of a handle right there. Perfect. And then his cute little hands, I'm going to put one hand right here on the side. So same light brown color. I'm going to put one little squirrel hand right here. And the other one is going to be coming through the mug right there. Now we're going to let those dry a little bit while we work on his face and all of his other little details, and we'll come back and finish out his hot cocoa. Except I did just realize you couldn't see the bottom of the canvas. So now you can see where I put his little feet, and it probably makes a lot more sense, right? That's hilarious. All right, I'm going to take some of that light brown paint, and over here on his tail, I'm just going to make a couple of lines kind of going up and around his tail just to show that there's some fur on there. So just follow those lines around that tail with a couple of short little baby light brown lines. Now at the bottom of his tail right here where it's supposed to be a little darker, I'm going to do the same thing with just a little bit of the dark brown. Perfect. Same thing, light brown along the edge of him, just a little bit, a couple of small little lines. We don't need to go too crazy with it. And even up here on the top of his head, that light brown, just a little bit of light brown lines. Maybe coming up from his nose and around his head. Ooh, and I can even add some right here on the top of his ear. Maybe I think I'm going to outline his whole ear in that light brown. Now, as far as his eyes go, I'm going to use my number 6 round brush and some watered down black paint. I do like to water my black paint down when I'm making skinny little lines. And the first line on here is going to be a skinny little line. So number 6 round brush, and I'm going to make what looks like 2 little frowny faces right here. And then just above that, I'm going to make a big rainbow shape. I'm gonna take some of that dark brown and fatten up where his nose, sorry, light brown, fatten up where his nose is gonna be. So I just got some light brown paint on my brush. I'm gonna bring that nose down again. Maybe I can add a little bit of dark brown to it also just to really make it pop. There we go. And then with that black paint, I'm just gonna paint a small little triangle right here. I'm going to give him a small little hook mouth. All right, let's let this dry. When we come back, we're going to finish out this baby squirrel. All right, dry background. Let's go ahead and paint in that coffee cup. So I am going to paint that coffee cup in, I think I'm going to paint it in yellow. So I'm going to grab some yellow and white on my brush. My yellow always is a little bit see-through. So I always like to add some white to it just to kind of darken it up a little. Well, it doesn't technically darken it up. It makes it less see-through. So a little bit of white, a little bit of yellow. Let's go ahead and paint in that coffee cup. Wipe that brush up. I'm going to take just plain yellow and I'm just going to add a small highlight over here on this side. Kind of pull those lines across a little bit. And then add a small highlight right up here on the top of his cup as well. Maybe even right here on the top of the handle. Then I can use that light brown paint and paint in my hot cocoa in the middle. Now up here for his eyes, I'm just going to use my finger with a little bit of white paint, and I'm going to put just a small white dot, well, it's not really that small, but a white dot right there at his eyes. Wipe that brush off, and I can grab the back of my brush and add a smaller dot just to the side of it. So cute. A little bit of white paint on my brush. I'm going to make just a small curved line on the top of his nose. A little bit of white on the top of his ears and the top of his head. Small white lines. These are just a little bit of highlights on his shoulders and his tail. Tops of his feet. I really like adding my highlights. I do want to darken his hands up a little bit, so go back in with that medium, well, it's my lighter brown, but it's that medium brown color. Go ahead and just darken those hands up a little bit. Now, if you want to add marshmallows to your hot cocoa, I just like to take my finger and drop a couple of dots on the top of my marshmallow or on top of my hot cocoa. And then I'm going to use white and pink to add my heart on his cup. And there, I think we have it, a cute little squirrel drinking hot cocoa. Make sure that when you're finished, you grab a color that's going to show up well on your canvas and sign your name. I never get to see what you're painting at home unless you post it to my Facebook page, Painting with a Purpose. So make sure that you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Painting with a Purpose, so you are kept up to date on all of my tutorials. And remember, as always, stay kind, stay creative, and stay safe. Have a great day, friends. Bye now.